Hello guys, how are you today? So today I will be explaining the math course questions, so the CQDs or CQRs. I'll be doing only the required ones, which are the grids. In my opinion, I will also do some of the grids and the SAT questions that are required from us. So going to grid number 6, one root of this is equal to this. What is the value of the other root? Now, here, in a case like this, we are not allowed to use the calculator in this exam, in this algebra exam, because first we are starting with algebra in this paper. So we are not allowed to use the calculator. How do we find it? We can either find it by the product rule, which is product is equal to root 1 times root 2, or the sum rule, in which the sum is equal to sum, or root 1 plus root 2. Okay, so we also know that the product is equal to C over A and the sum is equal to minus B over A. We can take any. So for example, let us take the product. To find the value of the product, we are going to take C, which is minus 24, over A, which is 5. It's equal to the first root, which is 2 over 5 times the second root. Moving this to the other side, minus 24 over 5 divided by 2 over 5 is equal to x. 2, or the second root. So then minus 24 over 5 times 5 over 2 is equal to x2. So then we get that the value of x2 is minus 12. So that is grid 1 done. Moving on to grid number 13. Here we have to apply the discriminant rule. We know discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. b in this case is minus 8, so it's going to become minus 8 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5. So 64 minus 40, which is then 24. And don't forget about the discriminant. If you have it negative, you don't have any roots. If you have it 0, you have 1 root. And if you have it positive, then you have 2 real roots. Okay, so in this case, it's positive, meaning we have 2 real roots, which are minus b plus or minus radical of the discriminant divided by 2 times a. So in this case, we are going to substitute. It's going to be minus of minus 8, which is then 8. So 8 plus or minus radical of the discriminant, which is 24, divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. 24, if we do the 3, it's going to be 2 times 12. 12 is 4 times 3, and 3 is 2 times 2. So 24 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. In the radical, for every 2 of the same, we are going to take 1 outside, so it becomes 2 radical 6. So now it can be written as 8 plus or minus 2 radical 6 divided by 4. So now if we divide, okay, we are then going to get 4 plus or minus radical 6 divided by 2. So the value of k is then 6. Okay, so we move on to the grid 2 questions. We have grid 2 question 37 here. From 37 all the way to 43, all the way to this value over here. Or, sorry, did I say 32? I meant to say 37 until 43. So, let me go back up. Grid 37, they told us to find the simplest way to solve this. So very simply, we are gonna make it as one whole, and we have to factorize everything. So it becomes 3x minus 3 times, here you have to factorize it. You have to try factorizing mentally, so you can get used to it. So here it's gonna become x minus 3x plus 5. Now down it becomes x plus 5 x minus 2, and then finally times x minus 2 x minus 3. So now if we simplify it, we can cancel this and this, this and this, and we will be left with 3x minus 3 over x minus 2 squared. And this is very simply our answer. Now here they don't want you to write that x minus 3 is different than 0 and x plus 5 is different than 0. However, if they did request it, then you are supposed to write it like this and you are supposed to solve it. So that is grid 37 done. Grid 38, now we need to write the given expression in simplest form. So let me zoom in. Okay, very simply, we can take out as a common factor 4. Not only 4, we can take out 4xy to the power of 2. And inside, what would be left? Inside, we would be left with y plus 4x. So we would be left with y plus 4x. Okay, and remember, they are all under the radical. So 4, since it is under the radical, okay, we can take it outside and it will become 2 because the radical of 4 is 2. X, because it is to the power of 1, okay, we cannot take it outside. It has to stay inside of the radical. Y, it is to the power of 2, we can take it outside of the radical. And then inside the radical, we will be left with x times y plus 4x. Or in another form, if you want to write it, 2y radical xy plus 4x squared. Okay, now we move on to grid 39. The given equation have roots of x alpha and x beta. They need to find the value of alpha times beta. Okay, to solve this, actually, it might look a bit complicated, but it's very, very simple. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna divide both sides by 5. After doing that, we are gonna get x plus 3 times x plus 4 is equal to 4. Now, if you expand it, you are gonna get x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 4. So if you move 4 to the other side, you are then gonna get x squared plus 7x plus 8 is equal to 0. Now we find the roots by applying the product sum method, a product of 8 and a sum of plus 7. Now, when you do that, you are gonna find the values of the roots and then you are gonna multiply them again and then you're gonna get the answer, which is gonna be 8. But how did I know it is 8? Because by applying the product sum rule, we found what? That the product is 8. So the product of the two roots is directly 8. So the value of root 1 times root 2 will give us 8, and that is how we got it. Moving on to number 40, we need to find the value of b. So here I think we need to apply the discriminant. We know discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Our b is 8, so it's gonna be 64 minus 4 times 16 times minus 47 is equal to 0. Now, if you don't want to multiply it all, what we can do is we know 64 minus 4 times 16 is 64 times minus 47. So we will take outside what? 64 as a common. So 64 common. And then we are going to do 1 minus 47. Actually, I did a mistake because look, it is 64 minus 64 times minus 47. So it becomes 1 minus 47, which means it's 64 times 1 plus 47. 1 plus 47 is then 48, so it is then 64 times 48. Okay, this is our discriminant. So we found discriminant, which is 64 times 48. So now we apply the root rule, which is minus b plus or minus radical discriminant over 2 times a. We know our b is what? It is minus 8. So minus of minus 8 becomes 8 plus or minus radical 64 times 48 divided by 2 times 16. So then it becomes 8 plus or minus. You have to do the 3. So let us do the 3 together. For 64, we know it is 16 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. 16 is 4 times 4. And then 2, 2, 2, and 2. So you could do it like this. So it's gonna become 8 plus or minus. And then we have a big radical over here. We have 2 to the power of 6 times radical 48, which is 6 times 8. 8 is 2 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. And then 6 is 2 times 3. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 2 to the power of 4 times 3. So if you are going to take this outside, it becomes 2 to the power of 3. And if you're going to take this one outside, it becomes 2 to the power of 2. So all in all, it becomes 8 plus or minus 32, because this times this is 32. Radical 3 divided by 2 times 16, which is 32. Then we will simplify, and then it becomes 1 over 4 plus or minus radical 3. So the value of b is gonna be 3. Now, 41, the given system of equations has a solution AB where A is positive. Find the value of A. So this is very simple. Okay, first thing we are gonna do is we are gonna do radical here and radical here. So y is equal to 3x minus 1. And then x plus y is equal to plus or minus 3. Substitute this in this equation over here. So x plus 3x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 3. So 4x minus 1 is equal to either plus 3 or 4x minus 1 is equal to minus 3. Move it to the other side. You get 4x is equal to 4, or 4x is equal to minus 2. So you get x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 0.5. But they need it to be positive. So since this is negative, it is rejected, and this is the only one that is positive, so it is accepted. So the value of A is 1. Number 42, in the xy plane, the graphs of the two equations in the system given above intersect at exactly 1 point xy. What is the value of x? So very simply, we are given that y is equal to this and y is equal to this, so we make them equal to each other. So 2x squared plus 8x plus 20 is equal to 2 minus 4x. So if you move it to the other side, you are gonna get 2x squared plus 12x plus 18 is equal to 0. So you divide everything by 2, you get x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. Applying product, sum product of plus 9, sum of plus 6. So you get 3 times 3, 3 plus 3. So it is x plus 3 times x plus 3. So x plus 3 squared. So that means x is then equal to minus 3. So the value of x at their intersection point is then minus 3. So whenever they say intersection, you make them equal to each other. And now last but not least, we have over here the sum of the root of the given equation is 4 and their product is minus 6. Okay? So what we are going to do in this type of equation is we are going to apply product, sum. We know product is C over A, whereas sum is minus B over A. Okay? We know that C is 3B, so 3B, which is C, over A is equal to the value of the product, which is minus 6. So we know that A is 5. If we move it to the other side, 3B is equal to minus 30. So then the value of B is equal to minus 10. We have the value of B. But do they need the value of B? No, they need the value of A. So to find the value of A, we are going to use the sum. We know that the sum is minus B over A. We are given minus 10 to A minus B x. Okay? This is our B. So we are going to do minus of minus 10 times 2A minus bx. And we know that the value of B is what? Minus 10. So it becomes plus 10 times 2a plus, because minus times minus is plus, so plus the value of b, which we found to be 10, divided by a, which is 5, is equal to the sum, which is 4. Bring it up, so 10 times 2a plus 10 is equal to 20. Divide both sides by 10. 2a plus 10 is equal to 2. Move this to the other side. 2a is equal to minus 8. So the value of the value of a is equal to minus 4. So a is then equal to minus 4. So we finished the algebra. Let me move on to the geometry. So here, we don't have anything recommended for chapter 4.4 or 4.5, even though I feel they're very important. So that's why I'm just gonna do question number 11 from 4.4. And I think I will also do the top question for 4.5, because in my opinion, they're very, very important. So, question number 11. In the adjacent figure, ABC is semi-equilateral. That means it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. They told us, using triangle ABC, find the 6 trigonometric ratios of 30. We know that the 6 trigonometric ratios of any angle are sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. Very simply, to find the sine of the 30, we're going to apply SOHCAHTOA. So, the sine of 30 is going to be the opposite, which is a over 2, divided by the hypotenuse, which is a, which then yields an answer of 1 over 2. So, the sine is equal to 1 over 2. Cosine, we know it is what it is, adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is radical 3 over 2a over hypotenuse, which is a. So radical 3 over 2 times a divided by a. We will get an answer of radical 3 over 2. So the value of cosine 30 is radical 3 over 2. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so it's gonna be a over 2 divided by radical 3 over 2. So then that is a over 2 times 2 over radical 3. Cancel this and this. We get a over radical 3. But since, okay, you can do it like this, or you can apply that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. And if you do sine over cosine, you are gonna get radical 3 over 3. So very simply, tangent is radical 3 over 3. Now, cosecant is the opposite of sine, so it is 1 over 2, or 1 over sine, which is gonna be 2. Secant is the opposite of cosine, so 1 over radical 3 over 2. So it is gonna become then 2 radical 3 over 3. And then cotangent is 1 over radical 3 over 3. So it is then going to become radical 3. So this is number 11. Let me move on to number 19. So they told us, consider the graph of function y is equal to cosine x for 0 degrees, and it is in which interval? In interval 0 degrees to 360 degrees. That means they are saying it will repeat itself every 360 degrees. In this case, I think this is true. So they told us, solve the equation 5 times cosine x is equal to 1. So very simply, what they did was that they took this, which is 5 cosine x is equal to 1, and they divided both sides by 5. So cosine x is equal to 1 over 5, which is then 0.2. So they didn't tell us to plot it, they only told us to solve it. So solving it, we divide both sides by 5. We get cosine x is 1 over 5, which is 0.2. Here, I believe we need a calculator. So we are going to do shift cosine or cosine inverse of 0.2. And we are going to get an answer of approximately 78.5 degrees. Now, part B, on the same grid, they need us to sketch the graph of y is equal to sine x. Whenever they tell us to sketch the graph of something, we are going to take our calculator. So, by the way, in geometric, calculators are allowed. In algebra, they are not allowed. So, we are then gonna do y is equal to sine x. So, we need to substitute. We will draw the graph, which is x and sine x. So, we have 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360, and then sine x. So very simply, the sine of 0 is 0, sine of 90 is 1, sine of 180 is 0, sine of 270, so sine 270 is minus 1, and then and then finally sine 360 is 0. So when we plot it, it's gonna look like this. When we draw the graph, it looks like this. Okay, so these are just some important steps I wanted to cover before moving on. So 4.6, we have grid number 23. Over here, they asked us for the value of sine theta is equal to radical 3 over 2. Now, very simply, we have many ways of doing it. The way they want us to do it in this question over here is what? We're gonna do shift sine of radical 3 over 2. We are gonna get an answer of 60. So that means sine theta is equal to radical 3 over 2. So theta, the angle, is equal to 60 degrees. Because we are talking about the sine, okay, so because we are talking about sine, so sine x is equal to alpha. We know that x is equal to theta, which is 60, and x can also be equal to 180 minus theta, which in this case is gonna be 120 degrees. Another thing is that we can add a rotation, so 360 times the number of rotations. So it can be added either to this one over here or to this one over here. Okay, these are the rules for sine x. Whereas for cosine x is equal to alpha, we know that x is equal to theta, or x is equal to 360 minus theta. And then, of course, you can add the number of rotations, so plus 360 times number of rotation plus 360 times number of rotation. So in this case, we're not talking about cosine, so we're going to forget about this for a second. And we're going to focus on this, that sine x is equal to alpha, x is theta, or x is 180 minus theta. Okay, and we should not forget about the addition of rotations. Now, let us check. They told us that a possible answer is 1, which is 2 pi over 3 plus k pi. Remember, substitute always the pi by 180, so it's 2 times 180 divided by 3 plus k times 180. So 120 plus 180k. Did we ever take that we add 180? No, definitely not. So 1 is wrong. Number 2 states that it is 2 pi over 3, so it's 120 plus 2k pi, 2 times 180 times k, so 360k. This works. Why does it work? It works because they are telling us it's 180 minus theta, but then they added a rotation. So definitely 2 is gonna work. For 3, we have minus 60 plus 180 times k, definitely not 180, because we are going to be adding a rotation. So number 3, we do not choose it. Number 4, they told us it is 60 plus 2 times pi, 360k. So it is theta, which is 60, plus 360 rotation. So 4 is definitely possibly an answer. And last but not least, it is 5. So 5 is then 60 plus 180k, which again is wrong. So in this question, to make it a bit easier, what I did was a big explanation. To make it a bit easier, we know when you are adding, it has to be 2k pi, because this has to be equal to 360 rotation. So we are going to get rid of everything that is not 2k pi. Okay? Like that, we can get our answers, which is 2 and 4. But they have to be what? This has to be equal to either theta or 180 minus theta if we are talking about sine. Sorry. So we move on to question number 25. Here we have 1 over 3 cosine squared theta plus sine theta is equal to 1. And they told us that it's between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. They need us to find the value of k, if theta is k. So we know that cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. So very simply, we can replace cosine squared x by 1 minus sine squared x. So it becomes 1 over 3 times 1 minus sine squared x plus sine x. What I'm doing is I'm replacing theta by x. So sine x is equal to 1. Move it to the other side and we are going to multiply. So it becomes 1 over 3 minus 1 over 3 sine squared x plus sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. So we're going to move this to over here, and we are going to do then minus 1 plus 1 over 3, we're going to get minus 2 over 3. So then it becomes minus 1 over 3 sine squared x plus sine x minus 2 over 3 is equal to 0. To get rid of the minus 1 over 3, because personally, I like to see everything next to the sine squared x to be 1. So to get rid of it, we are gonna multiply the whole equation by minus 3. So if we multiply the whole equation by minus 3, we are then gonna get we are gonna get sine squared x minus 3 sine x plus 2. So we have to have a product of 2 and a sum of minus 3. So we get that the two possible answers are minus 2 times minus 1 or minus 2 minus 1. So x minus 1 times x minus 2. So x is either equal to 1 or x is either equal to 2. Now they told us what is the value of k. They told us it's between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Okay, first thing we need to know is that we are looking for what? We are looking for theta. And we are dealing with sine x. So sine x, okay, is equal to theta. We know that sine is what? Sine is in between 1 and minus 1. So if we get x as an answer of 2, it's not gonna work. It's definitely gonna be wrong. So for now, this over here is rejected, whereas this over here is our answer. X is equal to 1. But now we know that sine x or sine theta is equal to 1. To find the answer of theta, we are gonna do shift sine of 1, and we are then gonna get an answer of 90. And 90 is between 0 and 90 degrees. Thus, the value of k, which is the angle, which is theta, is equal to 90 degrees. Moving on to the next grid, which is grid 28. Here I recommend that we draw. So we are given triangle RST, with ST is tan radical 3. R is 30 degrees and T is 60 degrees. We need to find the value of RS. Very simply, we apply the sine rule. So sine of 30 divided by 10 radical 3 is equal to sine of 60 divided by RS. So sine 60 times 10 radical 3 divided by sine 30, doing it on the calculator, will give us an answer of 30. So over here the answer is 30. Then we have grid number 30. Okay, we have to draw again. We have triangle XYZ. Okay, we have YZ is 12, XY is 7, and angle Y is 60 degrees. They need us to find the value of this squared, so we apply the cosine rule, which is XZ squared is equal to YX squared plus YZ squared minus 2 times YX times YZ times cosine of the angle in between them. So in this case, XZ squared is going to be equal to 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 times cosine of the angle in between them, which is 60. So 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 times cosine the angle in between them, which is 60. So we get a value of what? Of 109. So the value of xz squared is equal to 109. And finally, for the last grid question we have, I believe it is grid question number 38. Or sorry, it's a SAT question number 30. They need us to find the value of tangent theta. So here for this question, we can take two triangles. We can take this big triangle, okay, and this medium triangle over here. Oh my goodness, my drawing is horrible. There we go. Okay, now what about these two triangles? They have this side is common, and this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees. So they are proportional by the angle theorem. Okay, so we can find the side by the product, by the Pythagorean theorem. We will get it to be 6, okay? And now here is the most important part. Since this angle is the same angle in both triangles, and this angle is 90, that leaves us with what? With this angle in pink over here and this angle over here being the same. So this is theta over here. And I need the value of tangent theta. We know that toa. So tangent is the opposite of this angle, which is 8, over the adjacent of this angle, which is 6. 8 over 6, simplify it, it is 4 over 3. So very simply, the answer is A, which is 4 over 3. Now that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day.